All right.
We don't get a whole lot of tags on some of the commercial projects we do. We did a restaurant and we did a car dealership, and both of
Yeah.
those have some tags. And
Uh, Let me speak
oh, yeah,
firsthand
yeah,
then,
sorry.
because I had a museum in Atlanta that I scanned, and it tagging was super important. It was they wanted to tag lots of items.
Yeah,
And what I would have preferred is to say, hey, just give it to me in a Google sheet, an Excel sheet. They don't need to know CSV file, but I'll convert it to a CSV file. That project would have been so much easier and faster for everyone had I just said to the client that they are, presumably they're in a content management system for all the things that they're doing. So I'd like to think they already actually have a spreadsheet or
yeah,
some content management system of the museum where they have all the tag information. Here's the headline, here's the body text, uh, etc. Um, down to being able to have images. And I would have loved to have gotten that file from the client. And instead, literally what I did is as I scanned the space, using my iPhone, I took pictures of each of the little cards in front of each object. I came back, and then at that time, there was a limit to the character count. So I had to edit the character count. And then the museum director, the executive director, actually didn't like my edits. So I went down to the museum, sat side by side as we literally went through matter tags, making the changes within the model. So
yeah.
had that feature existed at that time for me, a model that was tag heavy, it would have been super easy and super fast to be able to import the file. And then it would have been, in that particular case, tremendously helpful to be able to say, oh, let me take the tags and export them. And for whatever reason, I got to, I do a refresh on the space of some sort. But I want my tags.
Yeah, I actually did a museum as you were talking about that. I remembered it, and I, they don't have any tags on their tour because I said, "Let me know when a good time is to come down." And I guess they get busy, I get busy, because I was gonna have to sit there and click each one. Now, my question to you is, if you had this CSV file of, let's say, 400 different artifacts, different tags for artifacts,
Mhm.
you're gonna have to like go meticulously through that tour and find out which. I guess you could match them up by the nameplate if you got close enough to the nameplate,
Mhm.
but you're gonna have to like match up each one. Like, so when you import them, is it just gonna be a cluster of 200 stems all right in the middle, and you're gonna have to like that would get annoying.
Yeah, well, I personally, I think for those Matterport service providers or those clients where tags matter and they're doing a volume of tags, the ability to export import is actually going to be huge. It may be, in fact, enable Matterport service providers like you to develop new business where tagging is an essential element. So
Yeah.
for us to do the museum, if we hadn't tagged everything, that wasn't of interest to them. Tagging made the difference. Now we're talking about volume, importing, exporting of tags.
So I have an idea, feature request for
Okay.
this. Take little QR codes about this size, maybe a little smaller, paper
Yeah.
tags, and they can all be individual, unique ones. And you put a QR code by one exhibit, and that QR code is tied to a line on the Excel spreadsheet.
Yes.
So when you upload, it replaces that QR code with a stem and with a tag.
Yes. That might just work by also just adding a blank Matterport tag for that matter, and they're numbered 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then they get matched up somehow. So
Something so it's
I
more
think what
automatic.
Matterport is probably has to figure out is there an easier way than putting 200 tags in the middle of a space? for example, is there a way to do it as you've described it with April tags or QR codes? Is it a way to I'm going to lose my train of thought on that. Maybe by room, you go to an art museum, another good example, and the art museum has different galleries, and this is gallery 1, gallery 2, gallery 3. Because this feature is not, as far as I know, I haven't heard anyone in the We Get Around Network forum say, "Hey, I've been testing Matterport merge spaces tool." What I've been hearing is, "Hey, I've signed up for a number of betas, and anybody got access because I don't."
Yeah.
Okay, all right, we'll move on.